presidents and our governors, many of them assumed office. 3 years of promises, some fulfilled, some failed. 3 years of excitement for some people and tears for others. 3 years of rising insecurity, some would say, or for those who are fans of the presidents, 3 years of hard work, of sweat. I don't know if they add blood to that, but 3 years of a lot of things that happened. Good morning.
All right. Well, it's actually that time of the day we get to talk about Nigeria's progress 3 years afterwards. 3 years, just like Emeka has said, 3 years down the line, Nigeria, under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, how have we fared? Has it been uhuru for Nigerians, or there are lots to still do? It all depends on the angle you're saying it from. From some who are supporters of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they will tell you that these are the things he has done, reforms and other things. How good are these reforms? Yeah, they might be good. We know reforms don't just come overnight. We know they don't work overnight. But these reforms again, have they been able to touch lives, or will they touch lives subsequently? What exactly are the things that have been done so far? It might not be good to you, but as a nation, how has it helped our country grow as a nation? These are many more we'll be talking about this very morning. And to join us to have this conversation this morning, to add up to that before I introduce our guest, the insecurity again is another matter we'll be talking about. And I think the recent one, the most recent of all, is the one that happened on Sunday night in Barkin Ladi, the foreign axis of Barkin Ladi, per se. I think Guangzhou, if I'm not mistaken, I think Gong Ajang, I think that's the name, and that's actually affected 8 families. I mean, 8 lives were gone. 8 lives gone at that very matter. All of these are issues. The Angwaru Kuba issue was still in court again yesterday, and our guest was in court yesterday also. So all of these are issues we'll take a look at. But I think I find so much interest in the Angwaru Kuba situation. We have with us this morning Ambassador Prince Valentine Adese, who is the founder of Reality Newspaper and Radio, joining us this morning on the program. It's a pleasure to have you this morning, sir. Good morning.
Thank you very much, both of you. I always hear your voices, and I feel I'm happy being here. Like I told you, I will be free.
Yes.
These are political seasons where we need to make the people know what they ought to know to make the right decision.
All right.
So thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir. Okay, let me begin with the Angwaru Kuba issue yesterday. Can you tell us what the court?
It didn't take much yesterday.
Okay.
Ordinarily, the main hearing will now begin on 1st and 2nd of July.
1st and 2nd of July.
So I think what we will expect is that both the prosecuting party will have all their witnesses, and then the defense will also have their witnesses.
Who is the prosecuting and who is the defense?
Ministry of Justice.
Okay.
Plateau State Ministry of Justice. They were people that brought these people to court.
Who are the people they brought to court?
There are about 4 of them.
Who are they?
Over their killings in Angwarukuba.
Yes.
That incident that really rock, it just not.
Yes.
You understand? So those were people that have been arrested, and they've been arraigned. They've taken their plea to say they are not guilty, and then it's now set for hearing of the matter
On 1st and 2nd of
the
July.
prosecution need to prove their case by bringing evidence, by bringing witness who actually pinpointed these same people. There is this social media story that these were picked in their marketplaces or in their shops and the rest. So the state government need to come and prove where exactly they arrested them. And if you look deep into the allegations before them, they started plotting most of these things since 2025. So the prosecution need to come up and then state how this process of investigation went on and why they were focusing on them. You understand? And that they were also there before the exact day they executed this plan. So some of us who all love judicial reporting, we want to be there to see exactly how this mechanism worked within. You understand, this is one of the beautiful things about intelligence, but unfortunately we lose it in our government circle, knowing fully well that intelligence are meant to curb or nip But this time it's about after the thing has happened. You start telling us you have intelligence. So we'll look at how these things will come up as the media people. But then you must give kudos to Daffy. You know, you can see that the Attorney General of the state is actually proving that, look, we can arrest these people. We can prosecute them by our laws on the plateau and see how far we can go. Well, the other hand is that there are so many lawyers who have also come up, you know, for the four. We have an SAN who is also there for the first and second defendant. We have also a very senior lawyer for the third defendant, and then another one for the fourth defendant. So we'll see. And I think if you look at the legal process, it shows that they meant to tear witnesses apart with their testimonies. And that's why there are three already. So any witness that go there must be very, very prepared. Because when three senior legal guys are coming to ask you, cross-examine you on your testimony, then you know you have to be very, very prepared.
Of course.
Because any loophole will show that you are not credible.
That's
and
true.
when it comes to criminal cases, you must prove beyond reasonable doubt.
Doubts.
The moment you bring doubts into your testimony, they strike it out.
All right, well, interesting. We hope to see what exactly the coming days will look like. 1st and 2nd July for the hearing of the Angwaro Kubai killing. If those people were guilty, we'll get to know. Let's also wait to hear what the witnesses will be saying. The Plateau State government and, of course, you know, the people who were actually picked up will be having all of this conversation. Now, let's talk about the insecurity bedeviling our country. For the past years now, lots of years down the line, I can't say 15, I can't say 14 because it's wider. The killings are more than the years now. Now let's look at the situations we are in as a country. I just want to ask you, do you think there's any solution to all of this? Don't forget, in Oyo State and Ogun State teachers have closed schools and said they are not going back to work until these people are released. Kids. And you wonder what knives would be like on a 2-year-old child, on a 3-year-old child, 4-year-old child, 8-year-old child. People who are still supposed to be under their parents, under the roof of their parents. Let me get your thoughts on all of this. Don't forget also, in Barikin Ladi, it was also a bloody night in Foron on Sunday, where 8 lives were taken by the Fulani headsman. Even though I saw in a video where Barrister Solomon Wantiri, who is the president of BYM, in Birom Youth Molders Association, came out to say that these attackers came from the just east side, which is supposed to be a peaceful terrain. We've not been hearing much of this injustice. But let me get your thoughts on all of this insecurity issue.
Well, let me start this way. First, I will touch on what Emmy said about governance and promises. I want you to understand clearly that governance does not rule on promises. It rules on policies, it rules on budgets, and all these things have processes. But what we see today is that these two have been kept under the carpet. People wake up from their sleep, just like in the days of the military, and execute what they feel they've told them in dreams, or what their wives said they should do. This is exactly what we are seeing today in governance. Let me drop it at that till we come to politics. Let me go to the security angle. Solomon, the president of BYM, is a personal friend. And I want to wonder why the security is not even more intelligent or getting intelligence than him. Because each day, he tries to protect Plateau. He brings up what might happen. And if it doesn't happen that day, it will definitely happen. Yeah. I don't see why government, if they don't have a source of such intelligence, should not go close to him. There was this time he come up and now said that his life was under threat, that he has been hiding. That was when the Biroms in diaspora, came up with their press conference. And he openly told them where his life is hanging. As I speak to you, I thought at this point, government should take that his outcry, very, very serious, and promise him his safety. But nothing is happening. Talking about the killings on Sunday, he has already written several of these press releases 3 days before that day. And they came to pass. Brother, Nigeria had never in my life history managed any insecurity. Recall that before the Civil War, we had a lot of uprising in the north, and nobody, as I say, was prosecuted for that. We had the story of in Kaluka, in Kam, where after arresting and everything, people break through the prison doors, went in, pick him out, and cut his head. As I speak to you, nothing happened. But that time they had a different slogan for it. They call it mob action. So if it's a mob, you really don't really know who to arrest. But then that is a failure of intelligence. You understand? So coming to what is happening now, you're in Ekiti, you understand?
Kwara, Ogun State.
Recently in Kogi, you understand? People are now saying, no, these militias or these groups are coming from the northwest or they are coming outside the northwest. It still does not hold water because each state has a barrack. Each state has a police command. Each state has DSS. So where is the coordination? Where do we move? Why will a white man come with a ship, stay outside the sea, and see what we are doing in Nigeria, and be able to send, a bomb to where they are having their meetings? Is it not strange? Or are we saying that anytime we have meeting without the whites, we don't really have where to locate? But unfortunately, the government had always been giving the citizens wrong information. Recall that a pilot went to locate bandits in Zamfara, and he said, in that forest, bombs don't go there. You forgot?
Yes, I did.
It's that same forest that the white man used in them. We saw bandits leaders who have been said to have been killed severally. Only recently, we now have an official way they have been killed, either from the white man's bomb. Where is this story lying? Thirdly, the people have called for self-defense. The state governments have called for state police. The federal government is now also pursuing state police. Why are we not being told where the hurdle is? The barricade, the stoppage. Why are we not told who is really stopping it? Just recently, our president cried out and said, they are threatening me. That is the most powerful president in the whole of Africa and the world, who can control both the legislature and the judiciary. Yet, opening up to say he's under threat. If president of this country is under threat, who am I?
A big question.
You understand? So we are at lost. Fourthly, you find out that anytime they are doing mob of these ammunition, knives, cutlass, and the rest, they go to the poor man who is not protected, who's protected by his farm implements, because these cutlasses are used as farm implements, even in my own village. But when you mob them out, in next 3 days, you hear they have been attacked. The question will now be, who takes responsibility? Why was it that it became a culture for policemen to remove their name tags, even when the crisis was at its peak? Why was it like that? Talking about this arrest and the police reactions, you can recall that just recently the IGP has ordered and have told Nigerians, if you see any policeman acting without his name tag, you know exactly what number to call, which shows that it was wrong. Well, that is not the biggest problem. We had Igboho, who was protecting the Southwest. We had Nnamdi Kanu, who was telling Nigerians how to protect themselves and then protect the Southeast. The question you now ask is, where are they? We had this man in Nasarawa those days.
Baba Alakio.
Baba Alakio. Why is it that Nigerian government will allow these people who want to protect their communities be killed? And at the end of the day, they now see those places being ravaged. And no security people are trying to protect those communities. That is where we are. We are talking about Foron here. The social media had been warned that anybody who posts anything that is happening in the plateau is an enemy
Of the
of the
state.
plateau.
Sure.
So if you don't publish what is happening on the plateau, so now we are reading it from Abuja. So whether the story is distorted or not, is what we call for ourselves. So where do we move from here? I have several questions to really ask, but you know the corridor and the space is not there. But I feel the Nigerian state has failed its own people. That is why you find out that the NUT have taken it upon themselves to come out on a strike, just like you read in Julius Caesar. You call for a holiday and say, look, this holiday is for protest.
But have they done enough? Because
They
it's
started
just
protesting
two
yesterday.
states.
They started protesting.
Yeah,
yesterday.
but just 2 states out of the 36.
Yes.
If we take a very good look at the statistics, over 7 states close to 10 states have suffered, student abduction from Maiduguri, from Borno State to Yobe State. We've gone down to Kebbi State at some point. We've also seen situations happen in Kaduna of such nature. We've also seen situations in Niger State. Not to forget Kwara State again. Not to forget the fact that in Ekiti, this is not settling down. Now in Oyo State. Now just Oyo and Ogun, a neighboring state, are the ones on strike. Don't you think the NUT they've not done enough? Because this is not, mind you, the FCT, the schools were shut down in FCT. The federal government, out of fear in December, shut down over 40 unity schools. Mind you, schools were also shut down nationwide because of these bandits. But you wonder why the Nigerian Union of Teachers body are just quiet. Just 2 bodies are going on with this. But you, do you think they've done enough?
No, you see, I think we are shooting them in the leg.
Okay.
This is a body of professionals. They are bound by certain ethics. They are bound by their constitution. They are bound by the purpose why they were formed. This is an extra concern. It's just like when lecturers in the university come out and say, no, students are not being protected. They are not this, they are not having light. It is totally out of what they are supposed to be doing. So you give them kudos for actually coming to that level. What are our community leaders? Where are these people who represent us in the National Assembly? Either in the House of Rep and the Senate. They are the people's representative. We saw during the Jonathan era, those people who came out to really protest, they were not NUT. They are political leaders. So the question you ask yourself today is, those people who have this responsibility of a larger scale, why are they not coming out to protest? Are they telling Nigerians that they are satisfied? So we have a very big hole, and that is why this 2027 should be a new direction, where anybody who is going to represent us in any community must take an undertaking to know that the community life, the life of the people, matters.
Speaking about the president, like we said in the introduction, 3 years on, what can we say has been the positives in 3 years of Mr. President that Nigerians can be happy about? Because, like he said, economically we are worse off. We are buying fuel about 1,003 to 2005, over 600% increase from when Mr. President assumed office. Our security is worse. I saw a data some weeks ago. The number of people killed in Nigeria by terrorists is more than what happens in war-torn Afghanistan, right? The indices that we used to measure the everyday life of a Nigerian seem to have gotten worse. What are those positives, if they're any, of this president in the last 3 years?
Well, before I answer that question straight, I just want you to know that Nigeria has 3 levels of governance. We have the local government, we have the state government, and we have the federal government. In the past 2 years, the federal government have told Nigerians to hold their governors responsible, that the number of money, the huge sum they've received from the federal government is enough to solve the state problems. I don't think any governor has come out to say what the president said.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. Local governments are saying the same thing. People have come to interrogate local government chairmen to state how much they received in the past 2 years, 3 years. None has been able to publish how much they receive in their offices. And in this contest, it shows that the president did not just give them money. They stated what, item by item, what they need to better the life of people in local governments. The question will now be, can you now say if the local government don't achieve, the state don't achieve, can we measure our successes only with that of the federal government? When the federal government is saying, I have done the needful by giving the states enough money beyond and above their budgets. I'm in the group that follow budgets. I'm in a group that follow the money. The question is, we are also already being shot away because we don't even see the budgets. If you go to many ministries, I travel, go to many ministries, they will never show you what budgets they are running. And that's why I say I will come to that topic which you raised. Are we in government to fulfill promises? Or governors, are they not there to execute according to the Constitution the approvals of state government, state houses of assembly? How many budgets are performing in this country? So you can see why I'm telling you that. If I want to talk about the positivities, I will tell you that the state governments cannot accuse the federal government to date. And nobody is living in a federal government. We are living in it has failed. Let the federal, state government or local government tell us that the federal government is not giving them their allocations. Let them tell us that every money they want has not reached their coffers. Then we will not blame the federal government. The federal government is doing things at its federal level, but yet taking care of the state level. Don't forget that this country has close to 13 or 14 states that cannot take care of themselves if the federal government is not actually sending them allocation. It has been published in several books and everything, documents, journals. Can those things hold the federal government very responsible? Is the issue of security. Because welfare, there's no federal government worker that will come here and say, no, they've not been doing various other things, and then some states are not. Why are some states running free education for primary and secondary school? And some states can tell you that they cannot. So the question will now be, how much were they collecting and where did they channel these things to? We are talking about the past 3 years where many governors have gone out of these states, the various states, to go abroad and look for investors. Please tell me, what is the new investment you've had in these states? I've been to several states. Even within this week, when Badun was calling me, I said, I'm not here. For them to hand over. And we are still talking like this. So I hold the federal government responsible for insecurity. But in order for it to let it go, it has been pushing for what we call state police. Brother, how many governors are in support of the governor in this direction of state police?
Let me remind you of this, sir. That when the new tax law came on board, a lot of governors were not in line with it, especially northern governors.
Yeah.
Even, I think, the 19 state northern governors at some point were not in line with the new tax law. With the new tax law, yes, when it came on board. But at the end of the day, it saw the light of the day. Now, what they've shown is, whether you are with it or not, we've seen policy, the national anthem, for example, the new national anthem, in the space of 1 to 2 weeks, we saw how that passed.
Yes.
You know, was there public hearing about the new national anthem? No, there wasn't. Although there were public hearings about the new tax laws. But did the result hold any water at the end of the day? No, they're actually in effect at this very point. So now my question here is the concerns of the governors forum. How has it been in this very administration? Because legislators are more concerned about what comes from the president, which a lot of Nigerians have taxed them as rubber stamp. So to you as a Nigerian now, what will you say has been the stance of the governors forum in making sure that decisions count? In terms of security,
my function as a journalist.
In terms of security,
I have dragged myself into constitutional journalism, where you make people follow what the constitution says, and you will discover at the end of the day that 80% of our states, the legislative arm is under the control of the governor. I really stopped interviewing. Is the achievement of the governor. They cannot tell you how many laws they have passed that are not executive. So what do you gain from such a person? You see the councillors who are also elected at the local level. When they make more money, collected the allowances 3 to 4 times, they pack away from that community. Go and ask. They say the community is disturbing them, asking them for daily intake, and these are the words they promised. So I think to answer your question, Nigeria is divided. They don't want to tell you, and the people who are dividing us are the politicians. Yes, there are so many interests, and because of that, they don't speak with more voice for the common man. The common man, they are united. This cry of insecurity is touching virtually everybody. You understand it? Then when the government want to solidify and make us understand, they give us names of the issues we don't know. Community clash. I hope you understand. Farmers, headers. They give us so many names of it. But if you affect them, they already know that the sponsors of these things are from outside. They are foreigners. The next one will now be, sir, how do I report a country when I don't even know the policies that are existing? What is the foreign policy of Nigeria?
I don't know.
Thank you, sir. So when we even as journalists don't know the policy of the country so much, how do you question what they do? If you ask our legislators to tell you the policy of this country, I don't think they can outline it. They don't. Except few secretaries of government who are there, who write some of these documents, can highlight some of them. But ordinarily, the average Nigerian does not even know the policies. If you look at this taxation you are talking about, sir, they've already exempted some region out of certain tax item. Go and ask any accountant. Any chartered accountant who knows will tell you what has happened now.
What do you mean?
Because of protests. No, our people can't pay this tax.
Talking about the beverages.
The same Nigeria, this same country. Please go and do your investigation. You see it. We are coming up with it in reality. It's going to be our lead story.
When it captured in the policy.
That's what I'm saying. So if we have a policy, can you fragment a policy?
No, you can't.
So
you're supposed to apply it to everybody.
So this is where our problem is in this country. Which of the... You can see how I raise my hand. We don't know. So people just wake up as leaders in this country and just make policies outside the blues. Let me tell you, the Constitution has several policies on how this country is supposed to be run. But nobody is talking about it except politicians. When it comes to exclusion, they excluded them from the political this. They will go and cite you, section 14, section 13, section this. That is only when constitution become matter. But when you come to those other policies which are embedded, in the constitution, and enshrined seriously, you will find that they're not discussing about that. The constitution talked about town hall, people meeting, people discussing how their community can grow, how your state can grow. How many meetings have you been invited to witness between the legislators and the people?
Are you saying legislators are a major problem when it comes to insecurity?
If legislators are not important, then we're already in a military rule. Because the difference between a military rule and a democratic rule is the legislator.
So they are the major problem we're having in terms
Because
of
they are not
insecurity.
performing their function. They've left their function. The only thing you see them in the office is either to collect their allowances or
For the average person, what is the function of the legislative arm of government in the governance of the people?
they write laws, they make laws, they enact laws to protect, to advance both the economic, educational, industrial, and all of this country. They checkmate whatever the president, the governor, the local government chairman is spending. They relate these expenses with what they've approved. And 90% of these things are performed during oversight functions. And that's why we have different departments, different groups within the legislative arm who are supposed to follow up on this. You know, who are supposed to check our people in diaspora.
Sure.
What reports do we get? So you see, when we talk about this legislature, it's a very wide and powerful arm, but they've reduced everything they do to just talking about money. This is a country where the borrowings are alarming, and Nigerians don't know of it. They hear it from social media, they read it from outside people, they read it from, or they tend to know it from their parlors. How do you react when you don't have the evidence at hand?
I want to ask you questions. First, going forward, because somebody will say that we talk about the problems a lot, which is important as well. What are the things we should look out for in selecting our leaders? I ask this question because as we're speaking about legislators, I realized that when anybody in power or any House of Representatives or Senate wants to seek re-election, they say things like, "Oh, I empowered 5,000 of our people to get scholarships, or I gave 5,000 of our people to get jobs." And most times when I hear that, I can't relate it with what I think they should do. What are the criteria for electing people into these positions?
Well, the criteria is simple. The age is there, the qualification is there, and it must be a Nigerian, not be somebody who had been convicted, somebody who is in secret court, somebody who has been declared as bankrupt, and all those. But it goes beyond that. This is the moral angle. The moral angle is that when you represent these people, the allowances and other things you receive is on behalf of these same people. That is why I see them make those promises they make. But the moment they get what they are looking for, the phone becomes their best friend. You will see a senator who sees his constituent just put his phone on his ears and then goes away. So these are supposed to be their basic primary functions. But then, in some other countries, the legislative arm is supposed to be a part-time job. And because it's going to be a part-time job, it's going to be for people who are serious. Serious in all issues. But this is like legislators where you go, camera is showing them sleeping. They don't participate in the active discussion in the House. Some don't even go when the whole thing is happening. They go because they calculated the number of time they need to appear for them to be recognized or given certain benefits. I know of a senator who came here and said, "Look, if you are looking for anything from me, I don't have it. If you want to collect anything, go to the executive." So now question you now ask is, what are those constituency allowances for? Where is the lobbying power that you are supposed to have brought on board? Where is the clout, the political clout that you thought you had, that you were bringing into power? So people suffer because these people, when they come, people help them to write their speeches. People speak on their behalf. If you go to most occasions where they celebrate them, you'll find that they are the last people to speak, and they give them 2-3 minutes after other people will have raised, good things about them. So when they come, they just say one or two things, bring some politics, and go away.
Well, interesting to know the conversation. Well, Bola Ahmed Tinubu's 3 years in office. All of this put together major conversations we're having here in the studio. And the space of insecurity again and how it's been tackled over of Nigeria. Because one would have thought that ordinarily this issue should have been tackled, and a lot of efforts that have been put in place should yielded many results. But at the end of the day, these are things that keep happening, and one will always ask, where is the next place? Because you just don't know who might be the next victim. It could be anyone. But let's take calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, very good morning to you, Richard Badu.
Very good morning to you. To your name and location, please.
Yeah, by their voice we shall know them. My name is Comrade Dadon Antiba Solomon, the voice of the voiceless on the plateau from Angwarukuba.
Good to hear from you. Please speak to us.
President, you've done justice to the program. Richard Badu, I greet you just Emeka. It is very, very true that Nigeria is a country of particular concern. It is very, very glaring. In fact, Richard Badu, it is as if that we don't have the leadership. It is as if Nigeria is ungovernable. Imagine what is happening today. If you say so, are you saying that there is no, as far as I'm concerned, we don't have leaders in this country. As far as that is a personal thought. We don't have good leaders in this country. We don't have them. In fact, if you look at the development under the military regime and compare with the civilian dispensation, it is as if that the military regime is more to better than this. This is just menace in Nigeria. People have just been picked like a bag of rice. Children of 2 years, and the federal government could not be able to do anything to rescue these innocent people. You cannot use my blood for anything. That is not the democratic. In fact, other democratic countries are not practicing this same democracy we are practicing in Nigeria. Our own here. Can we give safety? Can we tell ourselves the real safety we are practicing in Nigeria? Is this how the democracy is being operated? In the other democratic countries, when people have been killed everywhere, cut across, and the leaders are all every day talking about politics. If we are not allowed to play the politics, I think Nigerians should rise up. You're talking about who occupied this position, when they are not secure, we are no longer secure to this country. Then why do we play the politics for? All the development in this country was done during military regime. Look at the roads we have today. Most of the roads are during military regime. The local government, all the local government we have in this country, no one is created under the democratic state, under the civilian state. And we are talking about democracy. Nigeria has a serious problem. Let me tell you, we are not supposed to be talking about politics. We've done the politics that is not giving us any good results. And somebody is keeping quiet talking about election. I don't think we should be talking about election by now. We should be looking for a way forward to secure the life of this innocent kid. The so-called politicians, they continue to borrow money to fund budget that is not for functioning. You borrow money to fund budget. Where is the budget? How many years some budget have not been put to use? What are we into autocracy, anarchy, or what kind of a system we have? And what kind of a leader do we have today? I don't think the leaders we have today. Tinubu doesn't deserve more time again. I'm telling you this. Nigeria should wise up.
All right, thank you so much. Your point is well noted. Amen. Thank you.
Rescue us from the hand of unwanted leaders. Thank you very much.
Amen. Thank you so much. Before we take another call, Emeka, when was the last time you filled gas?
That was like a week ago.
All right, I think just on Friday, we purchased a kg, just 1 kg for 1,500. On Saturday morning, we got to know it has added again.
To how much?
So from what we got, 1,700, 1,600.
In 2020, 1 kg of gas was 300.
Was 300. In 2018, a kg was less than 200 now. and today
it's 500% more.
It's 500%, you said?
Yes. 305.
Of course, that's 1,500 now. It tells you the length and
in less than 6 years, we've gone from 300 naira to 1,007.
Of course.
For a kg of
It all tells you people are going back to the charcoal days, and now with the rain, with the rain, what about the charcoal? It's not even cheap.
It's not
The firewood is not as cheap as you think. So the thing is, okay, let's take more calls. We'll get back. Hello, good morning.
Richard, good morning.
Good morning, welcome. Tell us your name and your location.
The American Subosh inside the house. Prince, good morning. You're welcome.
All right, he's here with us.
3 years beyond the line. What is the scorecard? Is that in the economy? Is that on the security or insecurity? Is it on the value of Naira? Is it on the people going every day on consign? Is it in internet foreign policy? Is it where? Or is it in legislative power of the National Assembly that control without the National Assembly, there's no democracy. But which one I work? Is it from the judiciary? Is it on the character of police? Look at what Wike is doing in River State and in Abuja. Nobody talks. Look at other people. Look at the way he has destroyed the democratic tenant. So what is Nigeria hope now? And we are still collecting rights, collecting money, collecting this to bring them back. I remember that whatever goes around comes around. People told us he spent money, he used his money, and look at the way he attacks. Look at what they're talking about gas. Look at petrol. Look at everything. Look at cost of living. Look at taxation here and there. Some people are lamenting. Nobody cares. So I don't know what we're talking, but you cannot expect a first class student in a non-first class environment. You cannot expect anything when no legislator can call Tinubu come. We want to see in the red chambers. Because something happened or not to happen in Nigeria. Who can call him? Who can call the Army Chief of Staff in National Assembly? Even the Green Chamber. Who can call them? These are areas that strengthen the democratic tenet. That something will happen. If you don't fight in a black man, he will do rubbish. So every strong decision I collapse. Okay, look at where a commission is challenging the government or the day, challenging the constitution, challenging the judiciary. You say this, the INEC will tell you this and that. So the whole thing is hopeless. So where do we go from here now? People are showing, we see people are missing when they see rotting, they start pretending. We don't pretend. There's nothing they can do me. They can do us. The country, the government have failed. Colossal failure. Nowhere. We remove all the subsidy. You say you must remove it. I remove it. And instead of operating in a critical solution, you go for a cottage industry, you go for social security welfare, which is in constitution, you ignore them. They are you are building federal roads from Sokoto to Banagere, from Calabar to Lagos. What is their economic viability? That's why this guy from Emir Sanusi, quarrel with Ganduje. They are going to borrow $1 billion from Chinese company, from Abuja to Kano. But when they enter train and come and stand them in Kano, what are the institutions they will see? What are the institutions protecting the state of the children? What is insurgency because of non-government areas? If you forget somebody, he will tell you, make it to know that he's around. Nothing to show. Look at even this the Kaduna what do you call it? This cotton something. Nobody talking about it. Look at areas. Okay, Tinubu collecting money from UK. We were saying he's going to dualize that of Tinkan Island and what are the ones that is in Port Harcourt, the one is in Warren. Dualize. Trailer will come for Lagos Airport. He will stay for 6 months. No areas to offload them. Why can't you dualize us this today? What are we doing about the children in the 42 children?
All right. Thank you so much, Senior Comrade Bernard. Well, thank you so much. Your point is well noted.
Know where they are. Gumi say the government know their name.
All right. Thank you so much for your thoughts this morning. I think I will just have to let you go because it seems you don't want to listen to us. That's time to go. Let's take some few comments on social media. And From there, we, get back to the studio and try to wrap up with our guest.
Agbabiaka says Nigerians should be intentional about accountability of their leaders because our leaders have failed us big time. Imagine buying 1 kilogram of gas for 1,700. I don't know what is working in Nigeria. David Mark Sambo from Barkin Kogi says, the federal government and the states have failed us woefully in terms of providing security and good governance in the country. I condemn in strong terms the killing of innocent people in Guamjan Forum district of Barkin Ladi. Enough is enough. David Emmanuel goes, these leaders are pure demons. His words are nothing else. It will only take a day to solve security problems, but they don't do it for evil gains. Sham Shudin goes, it is time for doing people to start assisting their communities with sophisticated arms for self-defense. Your words there. It's obvious the government cannot protect us again, and the best way to defend, he says, Dauda Dominic goes, my president first 3 years is a big-time failure. If you ask me, as dropping this message, if you ask me, as dropping this message, my son just returned from school. Reason is that a teacher this morning, there's nowhere is safe anymore. Manzua Yuba finally says, what are the APC government celebrating? Is it the killings, the kidnappings of pupils in schools and so on? Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his cabinet, and all his governors who don't have human sympathy. All they care about is how to grab power. And finally, Richard Egbita adds, there's nothing to celebrate with this level of killings across the country, and the economy is not smiling despite the so-called economic reforms by the government. I urge us all to call our leaders to account for the trust given to them, and let us keep praying for them and our country.
All right, interesting. These are some of the comments we have this morning on social media. Just to remind you that calls and comments, on this very program are not properties of G101.9 FM, but that of the individual, as they gave it, in as much as we still beg to for people to be civil when making their points. It's very, very important. Let's get back to our guest. So you've heard all of this from the listener, and this is their own opinion. What do you think?
Well, if I look at it from the political stage, I will tell you that while the laws are getting tighter, the politicians are learning to fly without perching. And the people we are accusing, they are all politicians. You recall that just recently, so many people shot themselves in the foot when they attempted to correct the past by saying that people can be elected in their primaries through direct
primaries
or through
consensus.
Now, unfortunately for them, they did not define what is consensus, and they did not define which parties are supposed to be in the consensus, whether it's with the people, whether it is only the governors and his friends. So now the politicians have taken advantage of that law, and if you are exempted, it's consensus. You can see. So
well, I think so many surprises. So many surprises might come up.
They go to court to try to explain that. It will take another years. So it's just unfortunate that if you lose out, you've lost out, and Nigerians are also losing out because if we don't start firm to look at those who are willing to represent us, then definitely we'll also have a consensus, and that is how the election will go.
All right, it's interesting. Well, I think Nigerians are actually watching. Nigerians are seeing. No one is a visitor to what is happening. Last week, we had kids here who could tell you exactly the problem of Nigerians. And, of course, our politicians still feel like we don't know what is ongoing. The bigger picture of it all is, I think either today or tomorrow, some politicians might cry foul.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they all will cry. Many will cry.
Many will
told
cry
about
foul.
the consensus.
Exactly.
So
it's the same point I'm going now. Is who those at the top have sat down to say, okay, this is
our candidate.
Is the people who want them to contest.
But I thought consensus was all of us.
It's so far it's not defined according to law.
Yes.
So leave it.
So A lot of surprises. I had some names yesterday, and well, I'm just trying to. So when it's time for you to cry, you not cry much. You just cry a little. Yes, that's just it. Emeka.
Like I always say, forgive your oppressors if you must, but never forget what they've done to you.
So your final word to Nigerians.
Thank God I'm here. Like I said, I'm now free. I can always come here because what Nigerians need now are people like us who are interested in them. Also interested in JFM.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for appearing here. Thank you for leaving whatever you have to do to come to this. It's a pleasure to have you this morning. All right, more discussions will come in the coming days. Of course, stay tuned for more on J101.9 FM. The news comes 10 o'clock and other interesting programs. Still Tuesday, the 2nd day of June, 2026. Still in the euphoria of celebrating the new month. Happy New Month to you. My name is Richard Badung, and I've been with Emeka Umesi. Bye.
Are you ready?
Is it magic? Magic. Oh, we are a miracle. J101.9 FM. 24/7 hit music station.
Hits.
Let's go.
Are you stuck on the next direction to take for your life, business, brand, and career? Then here is an opportunity designed to help you gain clarity, build authentic network, grow your confidence, and teach you practical strategies that will cause a major shift in you and your brand. The Power Move Conference 2026 happening in Jos is that opportunity you need. Theme: from hidden to unstoppable. Take your seat at the table. Guest speakers: Honorable Caroline Dafoe, Commissioner Women Affairs, Plateau State.